Okay, this is a video demonstration for the pegged skirt with pleats. This is on page 262 in your books. When you look at this illustration, one of our goals is to draft a pegged skirt. Right now, where the sloper is just straight up and down, so we're going to change the silhouette so that it's pegged. If you also notice illustration, she's got a little triangular shaped panel at her center front. So we're gonna draft that little waistband that's shaped there. And we're also adding pleats. Okay, so figure one is to trace the front skirt. So I have a photocopy of it. And now we're gonna draw a line 1 inch below center front here. And we're going to draw that to the dart leg at the waist. So I believe this is our little design for the triangular center front waistband panel that we're drafting. So we're on half scale. Instead of 1 inch, I'm going to drop it only 1/2 inch. Okay, and then they just want a straight line up to the top of the dart leg. Okay. Yeah, and this is actually going to get cut off a little bit later. Don't lose it. When you cut it off, we're actually going to take it and we're going to attach it to a waistband later. So hold on to that guy for now. Okay, now we're going to work on the pegged silhouette is the next bullet point. So they want us to mark 1 inch at the side hem and draw a line up to our hip for our pegged effect. So 1/2 of 1 inch would be 1/2 inch. Here's our hip line. Just gonna go, get my ruler on the paper. It's kind of straight up there. Woohoo! There we are. And now this is going to be cut off and thrown in the trash. Maybe I'll just do it right now. Get rid of it. Goodbye. Straight skirt. Hello, peg skirt. Okay. Now we're gonna draw some slash lines for our pleats. And they just say draw them as shown. It's nothing very scientific about it. Just 3 slash lines. Okay, so it kind of looks like one goes past this dart point. Okay, looks like another one goes past the dart point, the other dart point. So I think I'm going to try to make them parallel. Why not? Ooh, that didn't really work because now it hits my hem. Okay, I'm going to change it. Change my angle so it doesn't hit my hem. Okay, and then a third one. Okay, and this is a mistake. I should just erase that one. Mine kind of looks like the book. Sometimes I think their illustrations are not proportionate to the patterns that we have. That's fine. Looks good enough. Moving on. Cut this out. Trim off the broken line areas. Save the wedge for the waistband. Okay, so I'm going to cut this guy off, but I'm going to keep him handy. I don't want to lose him. He's my wedge, and I'm going to use him for my waistband. Okay, so here he is. You know what? I'm even going to tape it down so I don't lose it. I'll just put him up here in the corner. Don't want to lose that guy. Okay, cool. Figure 2. Cut our slash lines from waist to, but not through, our side seam. Oh, and hem. So they do note that maybe some of you guys had lines that hit your hem. Okay, so I'm going to cut it to, but not through. Here we are, starting at the waist, going down to my side seam and hem. Okay, there's one. Two, and our last one. close the waist darts. Okay. Closing this dart, tape it closed. Here's my second waist dart, closing that guy up. Okay. Spread each section 2 inches or more and secure. So I think I should probably put some paper down. Okay, so this guy still stays straight up and down at my center. I'm opening each of these things up about 2 inches, but I am on the half scale, so I'll only open them about 1 inch. And they said it could be more as well. So here's 1 inch. Okay, I'm gonna get my tape to secure that guy. That looks good. Okay. Okay. Trace around their pattern, marking our pleat openings. So apparently this is going to be a little pleat opening. Oops. This will be a pleat opening as well. They want us to fold our pleats closed so that we can figure out the shape at the top. Okay, so let me do that. Okay. So I'm just going to put a temporary tape hold on this guy. Okay, so now they want us to kind of straighten out our waist hem here, and we can also use our tracing wheel to do that so that we know where our seam allowance is for the pleats. Just kind of cleaning that up a little bit so it's a little straighter. Okay, so we can get our tracing wheel. So if you don't have a tracing wheel, you can always just use a safety pin or even just a sewing pin, and you're just kind of poking little holes through your paper. There we are. And then now I'm going to undo those little tapes, open up my pleats again. Flat. And then right here, now I can connect the dots and see what my seam allowance will look like for my pleats. They're kind of pointy. Yeah, and then just, of course, mark our notches. Okay, great. So now we will we're good. We just need to label this guy and get it ready for the test fit. You can add your seam allowance now, or you can add it to your fabric, either way, but we do need to label him. The next step is to trace our back and taper our side seam. So we tapered it, they asked us to do it 1 inch. We're on half scale, so we only did 1/2 inch. We blended it up to our hip. So this is gonna be thrown in the trash. Okay, now our illustration has a slit in the background. Why do you think a slit is there? Do you think it's for design purposes or for function? So for any of you that have worn a peg skirt before, you might have discovered that it can be hard to walk in. So by having a slit, it can open up and give you more space for when you take steps. So we'll just mark a notch for a slip. They just said 7 inches up from hem, but I mean, really, you can have it wherever you want. We're on half scale, so we'll do 1/2 of 7, which is 3.5. And we're just putting in a notch. That's just really a sewing thing. I'll just put right the word slit there. Just a little notch. And we'll cut him out, label him, and he's ready for the test fit as well. And then now we have to do the belt construction, figure 3. So we're gonna trace the basic belt on a fold of paper. Okay, so this is interesting. They actually have us fold it the long ways. Okay. And then they have us fold it again. And then they're calling this the center front right here. Okay. Place our wedge section. So yay, mine is right up here. I still have it, I didn't lose it. And we're gonna put it right at center front here. Well, maybe I don't need to tape it actually. Because we're just gonna trace it anyways. Oh, you know what? I forgot to draw our actual belt. So our belt says to go to page 237 for belt development. I'm just gonna make my belt 1/2 inch wide. So I'm just gonna draw a straight line from the top. That's 1/2 inch. Okay. Now I'm gonna put my little wedge down here at the bottom. I'm gonna trace it. Okay, this is gonna be my grain line, and I can cut this guy out. So there's no contouring in this belt, it's very straight. So that's why it's a good idea not to make it too wide if there's no contouring. If you have a really wide belt, it might fit a little funny. Okay, now I could open it like this. Yeah, this is how you could cut it out, but then when you sew it together, you want to fold it so that you have a clean finish around your waist. Okay, we also need to figure out how long to make this belt so that it fits around our skirt. So I'll need to go and get my skirt measurements and just make sure that this is long enough to fit around the front and the back. And that's it. We'll be done. We'll be ready for a test fit. Okay, to measure my front waist, I think it's just going to be easier if I close up my little pleats. Now I can just take my measuring tape. And again, I have not added seam allowance yet, so I'm just measuring my sew line, which is perfect. That's what I want. And it looks like I'm getting 4 1/4. That's my front waist. So now we need our back waist. Okay. Looks like I have 1.5 inches. Now it's 2 1/4. And it looks like it's 3 1/2. So that added together is 7. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. So for my little waistband, if he's going to be on the half scale, it needs to be 7 3/4 inches long. You know, it looks like I'm a little shy, so I'm going to have to get more paper and add it to this guy. Or maybe I just trace it on a new piece of paper altogether. Let's see. Okay. Again, I'm making mine 1/2 inch wide. And then I have to trace my wedge. Okay. So this will be my new waistband pattern piece, since I know it's going to be long enough to wrap around my skirt. This is what the pattern piece will look like when I cut it on fabric. Then I'll fold it in half and I'll sew this part to my skirt and it'll meet in the middle. Okay, so now I'm ready to label and add seam allowance to all my pieces and do my test fit. Oh. Time to trace this, and I'm tracing my sew lines and I'm adding seam allowance to my fabric. Do not forget to mark your notches so that way you know where to put in your pleats.